Hey guys, I'm going to talk really quick about our grammar lesson for this week. If you will bear with me really quick, I'm trying to get this how I want it to video. Sorry, thanks for being patient. Okay, so this week our grammar lesson is on addresses and specifically where we put commas in addresses. So first question may be, what is an address? I hope you guys all know what your addresses are and what an address is. An address is the location of a home or business. It's just a specific location. People use addresses to locate a home or business or to send mail. So, like if you were to send something to my house, you would have to have my address. Every house has an address. Do you guys know your address? It's probably something that you should know. It's really important that you know your address. If something were to happen, you would know what your address is. If a friend wants to mail you something, they would know what your address is. If you don't know your address, that's okay. But that is something that you'll want to learn as you get older. So an address has 3 lines. First has the name. So the name is Disneyland Park. Then it has the number and street, which would be 1313 Disneyland Drive. Then it has the city, state, and zip code. Okay. So notice you have the city, then state. A lot of the states are abbreviated. Okay. If you were to look at your address, most of your all's addresses, you live in the state of Virginia. We abbreviate Virginia with a VA, capital VA. That stands for Virginia. And then the zip code, which is typically 5 numbers. So you have the city, then you add that comma, you have the state, and then zip code. Let's look at this again. So when writing an address, it is important to capitalize the proper nouns and put a comma between the city and state. So remember, we learned about proper nouns not too long ago. Proper nouns are nouns that are specific, right? So Disneyland Park, it's a specific name of an amusement park. We would capitalize that. We would capitalize the road. The road is a proper noun, Disneyland Drive. We would capitalize the city and the state, okay, because those are proper nouns, right? They're specific places. And then we always add a comma between city and state. Even if we didn't want to put the zip code, we would still have to add that comma between the city and state. So let's look at this one together. Where would the comma go? Peter Piper Pizza, that's the name. No comma goes there. 9047 Baseline Road, no comma goes there. Mesa, Arizona, 85209. Yes, it will go between Mesa and Arizona, right? It goes in between the city and the state. So let's write the school address. That's not for our school. It's for the lady who made this her school. So sometimes an address is in a sentence. When an address is in a sentence, you need to add a comma between the street, city, and state. Okay? So when you're writing your address in a sentence, you would write your comma after the street name and then again after the city, in between the city and the state. So if you look at this one, let me make myself a little smaller. Maybe. Or I can move myself up here. There we go. He lives at 173 Market Street, Houston, Texas, 77001. After street, you would add a comma. Okay, notice that little emoji right there. Then again, we know that already. In between Houston and Texas, we're going to add that comma again. Now, let's say it was 173 Market Road or 173 Market Drive. You would still add a comma after that drive or road or street. It doesn't matter if it says street or not. That's where you're going to add that comma. Only if it's in a sentence, okay? And then between the city and state. So let's look at this one. Where would the commas go? The library is at 57 Forest Drive, Seattle, Washington, 98101. The library is at 57 Forest Drive, Seattle, Washington, 98101. Where would my first comma go? We know this one's going to have 2 commas because it's in a sentence. We're not writing it up and down. We're writing it in a sentence, so I have to have 2 commas. Yes, after drive, that's where my first one would go. Where would my second one go? Yep, in between Seattle and Washington. Great job. All right, so for the assignment, you will have, sorry, I'm going to pull it up really quick. You will have to do a Google form, commas and addresses Google form, and a commas and addresses boom card deck. For the Google form, you will, of course, put your name, and then you'll go through the questions, and you will put where you would put the comma. Now, remember, these are just straightforward, okay? So if we look at number 1 together. Miami, Florida. Where would my comma go? It's a city and a state. So where would my comma go? Yes, it would go in between Miami and Florida. Let's look at the next one. Now, it's just a street number and a street name. Just a street number and a street name. Nothing else. So if it's just a street number and a street name, we do not need a comma. I hope this video helps. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. Bye.